2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. And we are ready. Welcome, man, to the Daily Thicker Podcast, the only podcast that talks about faith, sports, theology, and apologetics all in one podcast. But in this podcast, we won't be talking faith. We won't be talking apologetics. We won't be talking theology. We will be talking about Kyrie Irving, okay? Kyrie Irving. This dude, Kyrie Irving, everybody thinks he's weird and kind of crazy and stupid. I don't know how you can think somebody like Kyrie is dumb or stupid or crazy. Not in my opinion. He's not. Kyrie's a special dude. I love Kyrie, first of all, because he's just an amazing player, an amazing person off the court. Okay, now I'm talking like I know this dude on a personal level. I really don't know him at all. Okay, I'm just a dude talking to the camera about what Kyrie said about LeBron 2 months ago. Okay. You have a dude that's in front of the camera talking about what happened 2 months ago between Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on the Etc. podcast. I mean, if I have the clip, I'll play it for you so you can listen to it. But we know what Kyrie said, talking about clutch shots, clutch situations, having a teammate that he never had before. Okay, Kyrie stated he never had a teammate that he can look at and be like, dang, that he can make a shot too now. Okay. If we down 3, he can hit that 3. We down 1, he can get to the midi, get that pull up on the left elbow, on the right elbow. He can get that fadeaway, he can get that turnaround. He can go to the rim. He can shoot 90% at the free throw line and make all his free throws. Okay. Kyrie didn't say all that, but that's basically what he said in a nutshell. Okay. I'm playing with somebody for the first time in my career who I can depend on and be like, hey, this man can knock down a shot no matter what hand it's in his face. Granted, Kevin Durant can do that. The dude is 7'3", okay? 7'8", might be 8 feet tall. He has a 200-foot wingspan, okay? He can shoot over anybody. He can shoot over a building, Kevin Durant, okay? And you give him the ball, of course he can score. Of course he can score. But one lesson we always learn out of what people say, you can learn a lesson out of anything, okay? Okay, this is the lesson you need to apply from hearing what Kyrie said. I know this happened 2 months ago. I know this old. I know this happened during the finals when LeBron was in the final trying to win his 4th championship, okay? Trying to win the 4th one. Just because you're trying to talk good about somebody doesn't mean you have to demean the person you're talking about, okay? You don't have to talk bad about them. You don't have to bash the person you're talking about to uplift someone else. And we always do that, okay? In the black community especially, we always do that. Let's say somebody has a cooking business and we say, oh, you know what? Lala has a good cooking business. I'm mentioning people okay, this girl named Lala has a great cooking business. And by the way, ooh la la, brownies are amazing. Okay, I can just meditate and eat a ooh la la brownie right now, but I'm not going to do that on this video. You have people, okay? You have people going around down talking people, downplaying people, demeaning people to uplift someone else. Come on, let's stop doing that, okay? Let's stop doing it. Okay, we know what Kyrie said. We saw what he said. And it was obvious that he was talking about LeBron James. Now, the whole time I've been arguing with folks and I've been telling folks, Kyrie is not talking about LeBron, man. He is not talking about LeBron. I didn't think Kyrie was talking about LeBron, okay? In my heart of hearts, I did, but I said I didn't want to believe it. I love that 2016 championship team. You see, I have the Cavs hat on right now, even though the Cavs are picking in the lottery every single year. But anyway, those teams, the players on that team, they are good. You got Colin Sexton, you got there's Garland. You got those players who are good. You got JaVale McGee over there now. Okay, where Kevin Love go? Who knows? But that's not about Kevin Love or about Colin Sexton. This is about Kyrie Irving. Okay, steady Kyrie Irving. Okay, it's just about. It's just, oh my goodness! Every time Kyrie says something, it's crazy. We saw today, or not today, yesterday, Kyrie come out and say, hey, you know what? I'm not speaking to the media. And everybody's mad. So why did they speaking to the media? Dude, it's in your contract. You have people saying, find him if he's not going to speak to the media. Okay, Kyrie didn't want to speak to the media that day. He didn't say he wasn't going to speak to the media all season, but just that particular day, he didn't want to speak to the media. And hey, can I blame him for not wanting to speak to the media? No. If he doesn't feel like speaking to the media. No. He says he wants to change things. All those things. You saw the statement he said. He wants to change and he wants to approach things differently because of COVID. So maybe because of COVID, he didn't want to do no interviews. We all know they're not doing it face to face, though. That's the problem. But anyway, he didn't want to do it. A man has a right not to do what he doesn't want to do. He has. But the big story in all this is LeBron finally responded to Kyrie Irving. Okay, he responded, and we know what LeBron said. LeBron said it hurt. It sting, man. It sting. It freaking stings, man. Have you ever tried to talk to this girl that was in class, just beautiful, sitting across from you, and you know, you walk over there, you try to holler at her, and then when you try to holler at her, she says, "I'm good," or she gives you a number that's not the accurate number. And so, hey, she gave you this number. It doesn't work, but you putting your trust in her. Like, hey, man, this number going to work. I'm going to text her when I leave class. I'm going to text her when I get home. I might wait a day, play it cool, and text her, and the number doesn't work. Okay, you put your trust in her. I'm not saying LeBron, that's the kind of trust. LeBron had trust in Kyrie, okay? He had freaking trust in this man. He loved Kyrie. I always saw LeBron speak highly of Kyrie. And before, I remember in 2017, going in 2017-2018 season, LeBron was talking about Kyrie. Said he was ready to hand over the keys to Kyrie Irving. Okay, he was ready to hand him the keys. Hey, this is your ship. This is your team. Lead us. But Kyrie said, "Nah, Doc, I want out. I'm not going to be son. I'm not going to be second fiddle." And, you know, Kyrie said it's not about being son, not about being second fiddle. He just want to, you know, evolve as a basketball player. And I believe what Kyrie is saying. But it's still weird, okay? It's still weird that you won a championship with a guy and then you come out on Kevin Durant's podcast and you talk about how you never played with a player before that you can look at and be like, dang, he can hit that shot. And just realizing how much effort LeBron, you know, gave to Kyrie. I mean, before Kyrie came, let's look at Kyrie. I mean, before LeBron came, let's look at Kyrie's stats. Kyrie, he was a great player. He was a good player. 18.5 first year, 22.5 second year, 20.8 the third year, 21.7 the fourth year. That was when LeBron came, 2014, 2015. And we know, you know, Kyrie, he's hurt then on and off. 2015, 2016, he's coming off injury, came back at that Christmas Day game, and they lost to Golden State. He only averaged 19 that season. But the following year, 25.2. That was Kyrie's best season ever under LeBron James. Okay, under LeBron. He had one of his best seasons ever. And so for him to come out and not continue to say, but to say what he said, and everybody, I was waiting on LeBron to respond. I knew he wasn't going to respond when he's in the freaking finals, and it was just bad timing. Like he said, like, this is just bad timing, dude. We in the finals, we doing all this. You talking about not making clutch shots. Like, dude, come on, man. You know what we all know what LeBron went through in 2011. Do I need to play the clip? Okay, I don't want to play the clip because it hurts me. That 2011 clip hurts me. I don't want to play it. But you have Kyrie. He's saying these things. He's saying, hey, I want to be the guy. I can hit the shot. I feel like on every team I was on, I was the only one that I can look at myself down the stretch and be like, hey, I can do it. And that's great to have that much confidence in you, but not to have confidence in your other teammates, that's kind of bad. That's not a teammate I want to have. Like, I'm not saying I want to have Kyrie as a teammate. I would love to have Kyrie as a teammate. Who wouldn't love to have Kyrie as a teammate besides the Boston Celtics? They might not want him. Okay, they might not want Kyrie. I thought Boston was going to work out. I really, really thought Boston was going to work out, and it did not work out in his favor. Man, that stings. That really does sting. Let's just take a rest on that. My goodness. Kyrie, what were you doing? But anyway, before I got sidetracked by my own foolishness. Kyrie, he averaged 25.2. Then the following year, he averaged 24.4. in Boston. So he had his best year with LeBron. LeBron took less shots than Kyrie that year when Kyrie left, and all those things. LeBron says he wants Kyrie to be the MVP of the league, and some people say this is foolishness. This is just talk. LeBron and want Kyrie to really be the MVP of the league. I really thought LeBron did want Kyrie to be the MVP of the league. Kyrie has MVP like capabilities, talent. He can get that done. He can get it done. He can score from either wing, inside, outside, mid-range, free throws, like 3-point shot. Like the dude has all, and he's a solid defender too. People underrate that too. Kyrie's a real solid defender. But to talk bad about your teammate, and LeBron said it hurt. And a lot of people are trashing LeBron now because LeBron, they say he's soft. Oh, he said it hurt him. How can this hurt him? Man, when you play with somebody, you go through a championship war with somebody, you end up winning one of the toughest championships in NBA history. And you have a dude that comes out and says what he says. Not just some dude, not the 13th guy on the bench, not Dante Jones. No disrespect to Dante Jones, not Richard Jefferson, not Iman Shumpert, not J.R. Smith, not Tristan Thompson, not even Kevin Love. For a matter of fact, Kyrie Irving, the dude who was the second superstar on this Cavaliers team, the dude that was the second guy on the team, was hit the shot heard around the world and won the championship. Okay, he did. That happened. That's just reality. It happened. But you have him. You went through all of that with him, and it just didn't. He comes out and says, man, I have somebody else who get that shot. Of course, that should hurt. That should hurt. And that was me. I would have been hurt by that too. I would have been hurt by that too. Like, imagine, man, I have a co-host, Chop. He's been very, very busy over the past few months. But if Chop was to go somewhere else and, hey, say do a podcast with somebody else, and he says, hey, this is the first time I ever did a podcast with somebody who that takes this stuff serious, and I was taking a podcast serious the whole time, I would feel hurt by that. I would definitely feel hurt by that. And that's the same thing that happened to LeBron. It's just not good. Just not a good look. Okay. It's not good at all. And oh my goodness, I don't know what else to say about that. But hey, Kyrie said what he said. LeBron responded. And I'm ready to see this matchup, Brooklyn versus the Lakers. Hey, it should be something exciting to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And now we're entering training camp. Training camp has started, all of this stuff. But you know something that's just lingering, that's been lingering all summer, okay, is the James Harden saga. Okay, the James Harden saga continues as training camp is. His training camp started, individual workout started, and James Harden, you can see him posted up on Instagram with the rapper Lil Baby at a party, and they're saying with no face mask, and all of this is going on, and people are wondering, like, hey, when is James going to go back and really be a Rocket? And John Wall saying he's confident that he's a Rocket. Man, like, I don't think James Harden is a Rocket at all. The day Russell Westbrook got traded, he wasn't a Rocket no more. Okay. And this is the leverage that superstar players have in the NBA. No other sport has this type of leverage. I can't think of no other sport that you have a superstar that can literally hold a franchise hostage. Like James Harden is holding the Houston Rockets hostage. Your best player on the team doesn't want to be on the team. And he's under contract for 2 more years. And since he doesn't want to be on the team, you have to trade him. That's the feeling in the NBA. If the dude doesn't want to play with you, you have to trade him. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We saw AD get his way out of New Orleans, even though it took a year. We saw PG get his way out of Indiana. We saw PG get his way out of OKC. We saw Russ just get his way out of Houston. We saw CP3 make moves. Like, we see people leave when they want to leave. And we all know who this was started by, LeBron James. Okay, it was started by LeBron. Granted, LeBron and Kevin Durant left when they were free agents. But you have people who are superstars who don't want to play. Kawhi Leonard, one of the most famous ones, over 2 years ago, I think, you had this dude. He played 8 games with the San Antonio Spurs. In my heart of hearts, I believe Kawhi Leonard was really hurt. Okay, I believe Kawhi was really hurt, and he didn't want to play, and you had the teammates going back and forth, and Manu and Tony Parker messed the whole thing up by calling him out and saying, hey, this dude wasn't really hurt. And Kawhi saying, hey, man, I am hurt. I cannot play. And the team didn't believe him, and that broke the trust. That broke the bond. And we saw a superstar force his way out of San Antonio under Greg Popovich. Oh, wow, that is crazy. This is the leverage that superstars have, and James Harden is using his leverage right now. That's why the dude turned down $100 million. I don't care. You have to trade him now. If a dude turns down $100 million contract extension, just let him go. Just let him walk. Don't let him walk. But it's kind of hard. You saw they want something big back for Harden. And granted, you want something big back for one of the top 5 players in the NBA. You have to get some type of reimbursement, okay? Some type of reimbursement off of losing somebody as pivotal as James Harden. You have to, but it's going to be hard to get that. Who are you? Like, what can you really get? If Brooklyn, only thing they can really, Houston, see the thing about Houston and the Brooklyn trade, this has to happen. I don't care. In my mind, this has to happen. They have to ask for Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. And we know for a fact Kevin Durant is not leaving. I'm sorry, Kevin Durant is not leaving that Brooklyn Nets team. And if Kevin Durant doesn't want Kyrie traded, Kyrie is not getting traded. Now, will Houston ask for Kyrie or Kevin Durant? I believe they would. They're not going to ask for Dinwiddie or Karis LeVert or all those people. They're not going to ask for all those guys. Anyway, I don't think they should. The Brooklyn Nets are fine right now. The Brooklyn Nets don't even need James Harden, to be honest. You have a superstar in Kevin Durant, superstar in Kyrie Irving. You have a great player in Dinwiddie, a great player in Karis LeVert. You got a shooter in Joe Harris. You got 2 solid big men, Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan. Like, this is going to work out for you. Okay. You don't have to trade for James Harden, but right now the Houston has to trade for Harden. If the dude is not even showing up to individual workouts, the man said he's not playing. He's not playing. And you never see this in any other sport. Okay. NBA players have the leverage. They have control to extent, not full control. Because at the end of the day, the NBA can still write a fine and say, hey, dude, if you don't want to play, or the team can write a fine, hey, dude, if you don't want to play, we're going to penalize you and we're going to fine you the maximum of how much we can fine you. Whether that's $500,000 a game, $500,000 a workout, no matter what it is, we are going to fine you. That can happen. Of course that can happen. But will it happen? Most likely, I don't think it will happen. But when you're a superstar in the NBA, this is the type of leverage you have. This is why people love the NBA. This is why players hate the NBA to an extent, because they have this type of leverage and they have guaranteed contracts. So it just works out for the best if you are a superstar in that type of league. If you're a superstar in the NFL, you're trying to do something like that, Doc, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work, okay? I know it's been some small examples of that. It ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. And so with Houston, they have to make a decision. Will they keep Harden and team him up with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins? I don't know how that will work out with John Wall coming off this horrific ACL. Not ACL. What? Wasn't it an ACL tear? I know he tore his Achilles. That was the last injury, but he had 2 injuries prior to that. But I can't even remember what those injuries are, because he's been hurt so much. He missed literally 2 years. In a few days, it will be 2 years. I think at the start of the season, not going to make it 2 years. But 2 years, he hasn't played since December of 2019. 2019, we are in 2020, okay? 2020, the PS5 is out. He hasn't played, and the PS5 is out, okay? That's how long John Wall has not played a game. And so will that work out with Houston? We have to wait and see. It's going to be a good, solid team. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make a little noise. But if your superstar is not committed, hey, in the NBA, you have to get them out of there. You have to get rid of them. Too much. The locker room is going to be extremely toxic. It's not going to be good to keep that lingering energy of James Harden not wanting to be there, and he's not committed around those players who are like, dang, if this dude's not committed, man, get rid of him. We don't want him. And I think that's the type of attitude that we're going to start to see. We didn't see that in New Orleans with AD, because AD was like, hey, I'm hurt. I really can't play. But he did support every single game. And it seemed like James Harden, to me, in my opinion, if that happens in the sense of James Harden, like he says, you know what, I'm not coming to the games, or I'm not playing, or if he says that he's injured, I don't think James Harden shows up to a game to watch the Houston Rockets, because I think that's how bad he wants out of Houston. He lost Daryl Moore. He lost Mike D'Antoni. I feel like he lost his heart and his soul. And so right now he is just kind of lost and like, hey, should I don't know. And we saw today he requested that he wants to be traded to Philly. I don't know how Philly will work out. Is that a championship team? Maybe so. I thought there was a championship team with Jimmy Butler. They definitely was a championship team, but it didn't work out because Kawhi Leonard made one of the most craziest shots in NBA history that will never be made again. The ball bounced around the rim 1,000 billion times and then finally went in. So Houston Rockets, get your act together. James Harden, get your act together. Or go play or something, or don't play, or trade the man. Get the man out of there. Make the man happy. He gave y'all 8 great solid years of playoff appearances every single year. The dude didn't miss games. Okay, he deserved to ask for a trade and get traded right now. He deserves it. He really does deserve it. So Houston, just make your decision, man. Stop having people wait around. We trying to see what's going to happen in the NBA. We trying to see who's going to be in the East. Okay, we trying to see how the West is going to look. And y'all holding it up with this Harden trade. So I hope something happens. I hope something good happens for Harden, because he deserves the 8 years of giving Houston blood, sweat, and tears to continue to lose to Golden State. It is what it is. Granted, beside the time they lost to the San Antonio Spurs in the second round, it was not supposed to be man. My head just hurt. I think I'm done with this podcast. My head don't hurt, but I don't like to think about that series that James Harden had. Okay, I just really don't like to think about that.